So, welcome to the new moon manifesting ritual. I'm Michelle Powell, your host for today. I'm so grateful for all of you that have come live. Can everyone hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Things are a little twisted. We brought back the video thanks to Zoom. I'm so excited. And it looks like we have a few ladies on. Hopefully more are going to come soon. And I know there's a few that really were looking forward to listening to this new moon manifesting ritual for the first time. I don't think they can make it live. So we're going to cover a little bit of basics today for them to come into this new world for those who are listening. So go ahead and put yourself on mute if you have background noise and get comfy. And we're welcoming all of you beauties here. We're coming together in sisterhood and for this wonderful moment in time of the Chinese New Year and this new moon combined, so magical. And just to be with each other in communion, the purpose of manifesting what we want in our experience and being together in sisterhood and really understanding what it means to hold each other in support and declare what we want. So that's what we stand for here in the circle. Yay. And I'd love to start off, let's see, let me grab something on my computer real fast. I'd love to start off by setting the scene where you are right now. I'm going to do it with you. Cristin, I'm going to mute you real fast, honey. I think there might be something coming from you. So let's set the scene together. I would love for you to grab a candle of some sort, big or small. Light that sucker. I'm going to light some sage. If you guys have sage or Palo Santo or incense, that's always great for cleansing, preparing sacred space. And if not, that's fine. I would suggest a candle though, because we are moving into a fire year in Chinese astrology in this new year. And this is a very fiery month too. Passionate, action-oriented. So I'm lighting some sage, saging myself. And we're setting the scene for deepening into our experience here, right? I believe in creating our environment and experience at a very whole and complete and inspiring level at all times. That's why I take things with me like flowers when I travel. I sage every single day, if not multiple times a day. I have essential oils going. I have lighting under control. I wear things that inspire me. So we're setting the scene here and now for the experience that we want to have. So this fire honors the fire that we'll be talking about. And if you have sage, that honors our clean slate, our cleansing of our body and our spirit and any negativity that may be lingering. And I will also call in all of the directions, the north, south, east, and west, the spirits of love and light that are here to help us and support us and guide us. And we honor the elements of air, water, fire, and earth in the Native American tradition by calling in all of these beautiful elements and spirits and directions. We honor the earth that we're on, the plane that we're living in all dimensions in preparation for the ascension of our being, of our soul. And again, to create the experience we want and a sacred circle. That this is what sacred circle means. So I'd love also for you to have a paper and pen. And if you can, your checkbook. We're going to do the secret new moon checks if you haven't done those already. So beautiful. So now that we have opened circle, I'd love to share quickly a general basic knowledge about what new moons are. Again, for those of you that are new to circles like this or don't know what a new moon is, those of you listening to the recording that might have never done one of these before or don't know about the new moons. New moons are, in general, the start of a new cycle, right? So we have a new moon that grows bigger into a full moon that grows smaller into a new moon again. So it's the cycle. And as women, we are part of the cycle as based on our menstruation, our connection to the moon, which represents femininity in general. And we as humans, we live, I can never say this word, cyclic lives. and then also the new moons represent new beginnings. It's a time where we're cosmically supported for action, new endeavors. This is where the moon is growing into the full moon, right? So it is supporting us in growing and experiencing new things and putting ourselves out there to create something new, or choosing new beliefs even. So the new moons we honor by setting intentions and coming together and declaring them, because I believe that the start of manifestation is these intentions, the declaration. If we just hold them to ourselves and our thoughts, it's not as powerful, and it doesn't give them as much life for them to breathe and move and manifest and take shape and form, in physical form. And this is especially special because it is the 13th moon, the start of a new lunar calendar, which is the Chinese New Year. They honor the 13 moon cycle year instead of the 12 moon cycle year that we're used to, right? So that's why the Chinese are celebrating it. And it's very auspicious for women for that reason, because since we are on this cycle with the moon, we are connected with the moon, we're represented by the moon, it's our closest planet. 13 is a sacred number because of that for women. So if you are a part of like the self-care challenge that I'm hosting, that's why we have 13 days. It's interesting that the 14th day is Valentine's Day in February, after after the beginning of the lunar year. So that's why we honor the number 13 and have 13 moons. And so this moon in particular, because every moon in particular has something that it's focused on based on where the planets align and all of the astrology. And I'm not an astrologist, but I do keep track of what the focus is and what the lessons are for all of us to dive into in terms of our intentions and our actions and our beliefs and all of that. So this specific moon is in Aquarius, and we are asked to focus on the discipline and commitment within ourselves. This moon is going to bring, and this year actually is going to bring a lot of change. And it's only through our devotion and commitment and inspired, authentic action that this change will feel comfortable and aligned with who we are. So not only should we set intentions, but we also are in that little juxtaposition pose of being asked to make sure that our intentions and our actions are very, very pure in form, and they come from within us instead of any external obligation or validation. So making sure there's no shoulds right now is the biggest key factor to keep in mind. Right. So, and if you're thinking, I should lose weight, I should take this class, I should do this or do that, that's an example of non-pure form of intention. So we want to make sure that your heart is speaking through your intention, right? And that it's aligned with who you are and where you want to go and who you want to be. So that's the main focus of this moon specifically. And we're going to go into intentions in a minute. I also want to bring the beautiful Cristin back. Where is she here? Yeah, I'm going to unmute you again. And Cristin, actually, let me read her beautiful bio that she sent me. Cristin is my sweet sister from when I got certified in life coaching and mentor masterclass. She was in the class after me. So we got to know each other this past year in retreat, and she's a gorgeous soul with so much knowledge and wisdom and inspiration in her. And I just love her so much. And she posted something that I found interesting that I very recently, asked her to just come on here and share with us. So Cristin is, it's all about creating a life that inspires us from the inside out. And that's what Cristin and her business, which is Inspired Living, is all about. And she's a personal development coach with a background in Feng Shui, just like me, and aromatherapy. It's really fun. So she guides people through the blocks and beyond the boundaries to a bold, beautiful life of their design. So she's been practicing Feng Shui for 13 years. Holla, sacred number. And so I want her to just quickly share about this Chinese New Year, which is the year of the fire monkey, in a moment. And before she shares, I probably should share a little bit about what the Chinese New Year is about so that she can actually tell you some specifics. So again, like it's the lunar New Year, the 13 moons. And this year it's the fire monkey. And every year there's a different element and a different animal that it's focused on. And each element and animal obviously have their own characteristics that is the focus. For example, last year was the year of the yin wood sheep. So it was very calming and feminine and emotional and feely, right? So this year is kind of the opposite. So it's a great time for women, especially, to start over. If you felt like January was not your month, or start a good start to the year, if you feel like things are kind of going down, or maybe you're losing steam or something, and you're maybe feeling a little more in tune now, a little more energy now, this could explain. And so it's a good time to start over with a lot of cosmic support. And Cristin, I'd love for you to share on what this focus is for this year.
Absolutely.
Let me put the spotlight on you. Hang on. There we go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I love that you just mentioned that. I love working with the Chinese New Year as a time to really think about intentions, and intentions are huge in my life, and obviously that's what the new moon is all about. But I feel like our January 1st is a bit of an abrupt introduction after the holidays, and also in the middle of winter, which is the most yin of the seasons, a time where we look at nature and everything's in hibernation and shut down.
And explain what yin means too, for those that may not know what that means. Yeah.
Well, yin and yang are another piece of the cycle of nature that works within us and around us at all times. And yin is the more feminine, yang is the more masculine, and yin is represented by kind of cold, dark, detailed, intricate, quiet energies, whereas yang is bright, bold, expansive, the sun, whereas yin is the moon. So, and as far as seasons go, summer would be the most yang and winter the most yin. And with spring being the time of new birth, the spring equinox is my favorite time to really set goals. I love around the Chinese New Year to really think about my intentions and get my intentions aligned. And then by the time spring equinox comes along, it's time to hit the ground running and create and expand.
I love that.
Yeah. And for the year of the fire monkey, which when I first learned that, I just giggled and had all these pictures show up in my head of what fire monkey looked like. But I've read from different sources about the themes and all the astrological sense behind all of it. And I just came up with a very simple and clear explanation that I'm working with. And if we think about the element of fire, it's hot and it can be aggressive or assertive. It can burn things down, but it can also, we think about all the fun metaphors in our lives, like lighting a fire under your butt, or, even walking on hot coals makes you move faster. And that's the energy of this year. It is a year to just go for it. And another tendency with fire that we need to be mindful of is that it can lead to burnout very easily.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. So insert the energy of the monkey. And when I think of monkeys, I think of them as being silly and playful and energetic, very smart, sometimes a little ornery. And this has been a big theme for me, which I was thrilled that it's so in alignment with what the Chinese New Year is all about, is to remember to have fun, to be lighthearted and jovial. And as you're working with that fiery energy to reach your goals and create a life that really lights you up, pun intended, remember to have fun and be playful every day. And that I think is a key element to the recipe of success and not burning out. Because if we're not having fun, then what's it all for?
I know. I believe that too.
Yeah, we need it. So I just love the idea of fire monkey. And I've got, girlfriends of mine that for weeks have been chanting fire monkey, just because it's silly and fun, but also really kind of invigorating, right? To think about it.
I like that.
Yeah. And if I might add, are you interested in a little feng shui?
Yeah.
This year is going to be all about the fame and reputation gua. I know you've been running a feng shui program, so hopefully a lot of the women on this call are part of that and know about fame and reputation. The fire element is the dominant element for that area in our spaces. So that's in alignment with the theme for the year. And it's just a really good opportunity as we set our intentions to think about how we want to be known in the world. What do we want people to think about when they think of us? And how can that be really deeply in integrity with our values, our beliefs, and who we are in our essence.
Soaking that up. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun to have the opportunity to anchor those intentions in our physical life by using feng shui. So
anchor. That is such a great word. I never think of that word. That's so beautiful. It's especially what we do here. So I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is so interesting because it is, let me take you off. Where are you here? Look, I'm just going to play around with this thing here. So it is yang energy, and it would seem masculine, right? Like it would seem like it would be more of a masculine year. So what do you have to say, or what do you think this focus is specifically for women? Do you have anything to say around that?
The first thing that I think of when I think of fire and feminine energy is passion. Yeah. So can we tune into what our passions are? What kind of lights that fire within us? And it will radiate. Yeah. Right? That light from within, if we stoke that fire with our passions in all areas, in our relationships, in our health, in our bodies, and our money, and our work, how can we bring passion? And with passion comes inspiration and very pointed action. So, that's what I would think of the yang feminine.
Okay.
You with me? Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. This is so fun because I think it aligns with my theme, even though my theme is, I wouldn't say it's more yang or masculine or active or anything, but my theme is connection and consistency. So I feel like this is even more integrated and more exciting for me because of that movement factor and that passion factor and that playful factor, right? So it really made, when I learned about the fire monkey, it just hit home a little more. because it made my theme a little bit more special. Do you have a theme for the year? I don't remember if you told me.
Can I offer you something?
Yeah.
I had this visual in my head with connection as one of your themes. I thought of you holding a torch. And fire, this is what I love about fire. It's one of those things that you can share it and share it and share it, and your light is never dimmed.
Yeah.
So I envisioned you standing with your torch and just connecting with the torches of other women and sharing your light, while yours doesn't get depleted by doing so.
I love that. Thank you, honey.
Absolutely.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, my theme for the year is leadership.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. How apropos that I asked you to be on here. How amazing is that? You guys, this is where the magic is. Do you see this? I just asked her this yesterday, and her theme is leadership. Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Me
Beautiful.
too.
Do you have any correlations with your theme with the fire monkey?
For me, it reminds me to be bold and step out of my comfort zone. I tend to kind of retreat to my introvert side when I'm faced with scary situations. And for me, scary situations are getting out in front of people and being a leader, taking those bold actions. So I just remember that this is the year to do it, that everything is behind me in support of me in doing it, and my intentions are pure, my integrity is spot on. So to just go for it.
Nice. Thank you for sharing all of this, honey, and being with us and sharing your wisdom and your experience. And everyone, if you want amazing essential oil blends and lotions and potions, this is definitely your gal. And this Feng Shui experience and knowledge that she brings is so magnificent. I just honor her so much. So thank you again for sharing your light here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, in honor of your leadership theme. So right on. Okay, so fire monkey celebration. So that's why I'm wearing red, by the way, and for an honor of fire. And also Chinese New Year, we celebrate with the color red. That's their celebration color, right? So we have red envelopes. If any of you have heard of that, they are used. You give and receive red envelopes during the Chinese New Year to increase each other's abundance. Right, and red is an activating and a protective color at the same time. So it's beautiful, beautiful power in that. Beautiful. Okay, thank you again, Cristin, darling.
You're welcome.
So the focus is this fiery playfulness for this year, and then again for this month, a lot of commitment and discipline. It's going to ask of you. There's going to be relationship focus and changes. There's going to be health shifts. There's going to be business development and growth in most people this year that I've read. And so how can we get even more clear with our intentions? I'd love to do that today for those of you on the call. And then for those of you listening, just go through the process on your own. And I'd love for you to share what you come up with in the Facebook group, or you can always email me. So before we go into setting intentions, let's just do a quick body scan. We're not going to do a meditation per se, but we're just going to do just a little bit of a grounding, a little bit of body scan to see where our intentions, our truth might lie this day, on this special day. So let me see if I can, 1 sec. All right. So everyone, you can just close your eyes. If you want to keep it open, you're fine to do that, but maybe lower your lids. Find your seat. Find your breath. Find your hands and your feet and your body. Just notice and be more aware of your body. And take some deep breaths, allowing your belly to expand instead of stay where it is. So belly breaths, expansion and contraction. And as slow as you can. It's always best to do slow breaths instead of, always better to do slow. And so we're going to bring our attention to the top of our head, just right here on the top. And just imagine, just imagine that area with your eyes closed and feel the sensation, whatever you're feeling. Just put your attention there to the very top. Let the energy swirl around there as you're breathing. Maybe even take a breath for each area that we acknowledge. And as we move the energy down, I want you to feel in what area of your body you feel the most. So we're starting with the top of our head, and we're going to bring the energy down into our eye area. Specifically right in front, above the nose, between the eyes. Just right here. Bringing the energy down there. Feel the sensations. Take a breath. Bring the energy down all the way into your throat, into your jaw, and we're relaxing all the muscles as we bring the energy down. Take a breath. Feel the oxygen go into your throat, swirling around. Bring the energy down into your heart space. Feel the energy in the air, maybe even fill your lungs from front to back, your shoulders, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your lungs, taking that breath, that conscious breath. Bring the energy down again into your belly. Relaxing your belly, let it expand and contract naturally. Feel the bottom of your rib cage, the back of your rib cage, behind your stomach. Feel the front. Relaxing the space once more. And moving the energy down into your hips, to your womb space. Taking a very slow breath here, filling up this area with your energy. And bring your energy all the way down to the base of your spine, the bottom of your main body, and allowing the energy to trickle down through your legs. Breathe into that, relaxing your muscles, feeling your feet, and imagine connecting to Mother Earth through your feet, through a grounding cord of your choosing. But know that that is your access point, your roots with her, how you can stay grounded and centered and whole and receive the healing energy is through Mother Earth. So you can also feel her energy come up through you, up through your legs and your body if you feel that. And if not, you can feel whatever you're feeling, remembering the one area of your body that you felt the most. And just take a couple more breaths, allowing the energy to flow within you. And open your eyes when you're ready. Beautiful. Thank you for going through that meditation journey, quick meditation journey. So I'd love to set intentions now. And if you feel called, if you're on the computer, please, I invite you to join us in video. It's really fun and we get to see you and honor you even more. And if not, that's okay. So remembering where you felt the most sensation in your body, think of your biggest desire right now. And I'd love to, before we even set intentions, to get some shares about what was the sensation in your body that you felt the most, and what's your biggest desire right now before we actually make it an intention? Does anyone want to share that?
I'll share.
Okay.
I definitely had a sensation and awareness in my third eye chakra area when you brought us there. And it was just almost like a deliberate, like, oh, okay, I'm here right now. So that was the first spot. And then again, when you talked about, I love that you said to bring the energy to the front and back of the ribs. And it was the back of the ribs that I was probably physically like a little sore spot, and it just felt really good to bring my breath there and bring my awareness to that space. So that's what was present for me.
Beautiful. Was it the upper back ribs or the lower back ribs?
Lower.
Okay, more like in the back of your stomach area?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of third chakra.
Nice. And what's your biggest desire right now?
My biggest desire right now is to, I have 3 more open spots in my coaching practice for right now for the next few months, and I'd like to get those filled.
Got it. So your third eye, your intuition, and your knowing, along with your power center, is calling you to manifest that. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
I think for me, when we first started with the head, it was like this really kind of hot water coming in. And then
It felt like hot water on your head or something?
yeah.
Okay.
And then it just kind of was just bringing warmth all the way down. And then what really was impacted was my feet. They were just like seriously very, very warm, and just this feeling of a part of the earth, a part of what I was grounding into. So for me, those were the 2 areas today that were really intensified with that meditation.
Awesome. Love that. And what do you have something to share for your biggest desire? Might be your intention for the day.
Well, I think my biggest desire is really my desire for the year, which is to get all of our financial things in line and in order, and be actually able to make our relocation to Europe, and go in that direction and those changes that we want to make in our life.
Yeah. Beautiful. Sensing the connection from earth, being grounded in a new home, being grounded enough so that you can feel safe to move and shift your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel true?
Yes,
Nice.
definitely.
Thank you.
Of course.
Anyone else want to share? Okay. Well, let's move into setting our intentions then. So utilizing that sensation like these ladies just shared, whatever felt the most prominent, seeing how you can move that into your intention. So what would be your biggest intention just for this month or even this year, since we are talking about that Lunar New Year? This is a very powerful time to set the year intentions. Whichever is it the short term or the long term, think of your biggest desire, and that will move into an intention and a commitment at the end of it. So for the purpose of this call, let's just take one. I know there might be multiple desires happening within you, as there is most of us. We're women. So how we set ourselves up for the most powerful intentions is that they include several key factors. And what these factors do is they help us access the reality of this intention, this desire. So we take it and move it into physical form. That's manifestation. So I believe in these concepts, and I'll share them with you. Some of you have heard them already, so I'm just restating them for those who have never been on the call. So we make sure that every intention or goal or dream or desire includes being stated as if it's already happened as the first. So you say that I have done this, I have experienced this, this was like this. We don't say, I want this, I'm doing this, right? So we put it in the past tense. Then we need details about it to support our belief and experience and make it real, right? So we can't just say, I want money, or I have money. Our subconscious, our body, our being doesn't really grasp onto that, and we can't run with it either. So we want to encourage all parts of us to feel it, viscerally feel it. And that brings me to the next one, is including all the 5 senses in these details, so you can viscerally feel it and truly understand what it means to experience what you desire and manifest in physical form. So details and 5 senses. Then we want to include our outward effect on every area of our life. So with every desire that we have, and I believe every desire is our destiny, with every desire there is some benefits that every part of our life is getting. So if you want money, if you set the intention that you have money, how does that impact your love life? How does that impact your health? How does that impact your relationships, your friends, your work? You get what I'm saying? So what are the benefits? Then what are the outward effects on other people? So you just named what your benefits would be. Now, how would it benefit other people? With that money, with having money, how would that help your friends? How would that help your family? How would that help the world overall, your tribe, your business owner, your clients? What would that do for them if you experienced what you want? And then the final thing is instant benefits while taking the steps to get there. So before we have all the money that we want, or before we manifest exactly what we think that we need and want to experience, what are the benefits or the experiences that we get to immediately have? This is what our humanitary is ingrained to believe or experience. Because I always say the toothpaste analogy, because we would never brush our teeth just for the benefit of not having cavities. And this is actually proven. We only brush our teeth because of the instant benefit of that minty taste. This is really proven. So it's the same concept. So there's always instant benefits with a pure intention and desire. And we want to identify those because those are going to be your rewards, and those are going to keep you going when it's not fully there, even though I always believe it's really in our grasp in our world. But when you think it's not, the instant benefits will help you along the way. And the number one thing that manifests your desires after you clarify all of these, of course, is your belief. So maintaining that motivation and believing that you not only deserve it, but it's available and accessible to you with the resources and support that you need. This is what I would like to instill in you that is your homework, per se. So you can't just clarify your intentions and expect them to come to you. We always want to be reminded of them, ask for support, be inspired by them, take consistent action. So that is always what I ask everyone to do in order for them to be made manifest. And if you go in the group Monthly Moon Magic with Michelle, which most of you are, you'll see some of the testimonials to what people are experiencing. One lady just shared her experience of manifesting over $100,000 from the first new moon call that we did. Another lady, Kelly Cooper, some of you know her, she just told me that from the first New Moon call we did last September, she was saying she wanted to live in a yurt in the woods, and she moved to Tahoe and now lives in a cabin. And it focuses only on her coaching, which is also was her intention. So this is really happening for people, but not by just sitting back and allowing and doing nothing. So I promise you, if you stay consistent with it and inspired by it and ask for support and stay in sisterhood in this magical vortex of magic, then it will happen for you. So who would like to share? And today we don't necessarily have to share all of it. And I'd love also for you to just wing it, and I can help you make it succinct. So don't feel like you have to have it written out perfectly right now. But would anyone like to share their intention at least as much as they can make it right now in the moment? So their intention for at least this month or this year. And this is your time to declare, by the way. So again, this is the power part. This is the time for declaration, for coming into the manifestation, for us to witness you. And if you're feeling something in your belly, this is probably you. Does anyone have any questions about how to write their intention? Cristin, are you talking? You're on mute, bub. There you go.
The benefits of video. The second point that you made about details to support the belief statement or our beliefs, can you give me an example of that?
The details to support, your belief in things to make it real. Yeah, so what, beyond the five senses, so for example, would you mind sharing the intention so I can help you?
Yeah, in alignment with what I said earlier, my intention is that I have a beautiful full coaching practice.
Okay. Yeah. So what does that look like on a daily basis? What does your schedule feel like? What do the clients do for you? Like, how do you interact with them? How do you start the calls? What is your before and after routine? How do you schedule them? Like, think of the whole process. Do you use a scheduler? Do you call them? Do you text them? What's your ideal scene? So those details of making, kind of covering your bases, right?
Gotcha.
And even receiving the money, even how you receive the money and put that into your bank account. Do you take a check and deposit it into the bank? Do you receive it online? How do you honor that? And you don't necessarily have to go all out. Right? We don't want to get too overwhelmed with all the details. But pick some of that, right? That you would really connect to.
Embody it then.
Yeah, embody.
Visualize it and like let it soak into our cells.
Yeah.
Okay, as if it were already true.
Yeah. Yeah, just describe the experience. Maybe that's a better way of saying details. Describe the whole process and experience. And include the five senses. That's definitely important.
I love that part.
Beautiful. Do you want to elaborate on anything, or are you complete?
Well, like you said about your space, my Feng Shui sister, always kind of cultivating my space. It's really, in January, I rearranged my studio space, and I'm just loving it. And so for me to really imagine being in this newly arranged and curated space, And with my aromatherapy, like the candles that I light and the different essential oils I use when I'm working with clients versus when I'm in creative flow and writing my blog versus when I'm doing more kind of administrative things. You know, I love engaging my senses in that way and thinking about, gosh, today I went to work with a client and peppermint, I was like, I need to put some peppermint in my diffuser. And so I can see how really connecting with all of those senses, it is going to be so helpful and fun and engaging.
Mm-hmm. You know, I just thought of, you can even create something like a ritual. I'm just using peppermint as an example, but say for every client, you're going to spray some peppermint oil or do something with peppermint oil. And that could be your celebration, where you then associate peppermint oil with a client. And then every time you smell peppermint oil, you get in the activated, magnetizing energy of talking with clients. I don't know. It's just an example.
I love it. That's a great example.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anything else? Are you complete?
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes I feel like I'm really clear about what I want to create my intention around.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can be like a whole slew of things. So what would you say is the best way to focus on, like, how do you know what to focus on the most? Or what would you say would be a great way to get really clear on all of that?
I would definitely say start with a feeling, which you are so good at, honey. So definitely just dive into the feeling. It could be a daily feeling. You know, maybe it's a daily experience, or maybe even a focus on a category. So if it's business related, personal related, family related, that would help. And it's always quite okay to be broad. So if you don't know what you want, beyond really getting connected to yourself and what it is, the desire that you think that you want will actually bring you, having a broad intention with some sort of focus, whether that's feeling, like I said, or a category or a benefit for yourself. You know, there's something that you actually want. So identifying one of those things would be helpful, I think, and even calling it, because you just want to, whatever it is, whether it's broad or specific, you just want to make it viscerally palpable within your system. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that's the greatest pull that you feel really pulled to be to, that your curiosity is being pulled towards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just reading Big Magic, and she talks a lot about curiosity and not necessarily creativity, right? We always think we have to be creative and passionate, but there's a first step to that. So that's curiosity.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just, okay, what am I really curious about? What would it like to experience this, or have this, or feel this, or know this?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help, honey?
Yes, it does. For sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I love this. This is such inspiration too for me. So thank you all for sharing. And also it's a practice. So we are all not perfect. I'm not perfect. This is every month that we get a chance to recommit and redo and fine tune and all of that. And even every day during the month, we can recommit. So whatever, don't get too caught up in too perfectionist mode or too structured with this. Just know that there is a lovely structure to abide by if you so desire, if it works for you. And then make it as loose as you need to in order to feel expansive about it, right? So you do want to feel excited for the intention and desire to manifest, as opposed to like, okay, this is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. We got to do this, right? So you don't want to feel too constricted and stressed and worried and make it not real enough. So again, the point of this is really just to make it as real as possible. And again, that's why we declare, because when we say it out loud, that's when we not only hear ourselves, hear the words, they sound different when they're out loud, but other people are witnessing us. And whatever we speak, we reinforce in our system and our body and our mind, which then reinforces our beliefs in our subconscious. Our subconscious runs the show, guys. I hate to say it. So with that being said, does anyone else want to share their intention or have any questions?
I can share.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It's not really complete, but basically, in my newly created personal space and office, I have been very happy and content this month with the balance in my life. I received, sorry. I made corrections.
I love that too. I love how you can change your mind. You can rewrite it.
I loved smelling the fresh flowers as I worked and as I played throughout my house. Listening to the chimes and watching the mobiles floating in the wind really inspired me. And as I sipped my morning coffee and did my morning rituals, I got excited about starting my work day. I loved working with new target clients that have come to me and referrals that are coming in, increasing my income to my target goal of $10,000 per month. And it was exciting to realize how much I was helping them when they told me how much value I was giving to them for the money that they were investing. And it just multiplied over the month, and I ended up booking several months out with that same level of commissions. That's kind of where I'm at.
Very, very detailed. I love that. Yeah. You can also record yourself. I just got an idea, just to pause for a second. You can record yourself jamming on this and then listen to it back and kind of write it out. Just had that idea spark as you were talking.
Yeah, that's something I've been playing around with because, I got the Echo Pen thing.
Yeah.
And record, and then it comes onto the screen and everything. But it's great because I can be recording myself. It doesn't have to be like this conference or something where I'm just really kind of getting my thoughts out there and then kind of coming back and being able to adjust it,
Mm-hmm. Love it. Would you like any reflection?
Yes, absolutely.
I heard something about, before you talked about the commission, you said something that ended in ing. Something was still in the present. I can't remember exactly. Like they're paying you or something like that. What does it say?
I don't know. I really don't know because.
Okay, I apologize for not remembering that something
might have been when I was saying playing, when I was smelling the flowers and watching the chimes and hearing that playing throughout the house.
No, that wasn't it. That's fine. So as much, again, just double check the past tense. And then also I would really add your feelings. I didn't hear any feelings on how it felt to receive this money, to have these amazing clients, to beyond, the energy or the sustainability factor. What does it make you feel emotion-wise? Because I think that will also bring you through and you'll be able to recognize it. It's kind of a measuring way without the money. Because again, money isn't always what we're looking for.
Yeah, well, I think I said that I was excited
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did hear that.
Day, and I was excited and happy to know that I was being of value to them.
Yeah.
As they told me, I was giving them more value for the money they were spending. And I guess, that is really more than excitement, because that's something that is a passion for me, is to really help people get the absolute most out of their travel and their journey experiences.
Mm-hmm.
When I can deliver to them so much more than what they could do on their own, or I can save them so much time, or whatever that value is for them, it's very fulfilling for me, and it goes beyond excitement, because it's really just my passion. So it's like I get to live that dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to put more of that kind of thing into my intention. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, only if I felt a little. It was a little neutral, like happy and excited. Maybe there's true or not, I don't know, but maybe there could be even something more powerful about what the feeling actually is, just to make it more noticeable for you. Because just in general, happy isn't necessarily a measurable word, right? It's kind of a little, you know what I mean? It's a little not really measurable, I would say. So if there is something that you can identify to really hit home and make you feel like, for me, just an example, just to give you ideas, I like to say, if we're talking about business, I like to say, I have clients that make me feel energized and I feel respected and in my sovereignty as I lead them. Little bit of you know what I mean? A succinct, clarified emotion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if there's something you can access like that, and if not, then that works too. Whatever you fully connect to. You want to really connect to this and feel lit up when you're saying this in your system.
Okay.
And for those of you that aren't saying anything, it's helpful too to just say it out loud by yourself too. So you can always do that. But again, more powerful with others. So yes, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for your reflection. Helpful.
Okay, beautiful. So is there anyone else? Otherwise, we'll just move on. Okay. So one thing that we can do, and again, it's not too much of a focus for this month specifically, because again, we're a little bit more softer in this month as we move into the action for the year. We're more taking inner action, if we will. We want to make sure we're really aligned and pure in our intentions, and that we focus on what we can do from the inside out rather than setting it from the outside in, which is kind of the normal way to use the new moon intentions. But that being said, I like to use this tool called action affirmations for my intentions. So that would look like, for every intention, right? If there's multiple ones, do it for each one. Write out what steps need to be taken for you that you can think of to get there and set things in motion, right? So if you want clients, just using this example, what can you do to take action to possibly receive those clients, right? So you can create an agreement if you haven't. You can prospect and call women. You can email women. You can go to a networking event. You can, whatever feels like it's expansive and exciting for you to do. That would be an example of...
Sorry.
It's okay. That's just an example of action affirmation. So I will do this. I am going to do that. And then you can put it on your to-do list, and that's your monthly, your to-do list is actually working for your intentions, kind of like reverse engineering. So most of the time we fail because we either quit or we gave up in some way. So there's some part of us that lowered the intensity or the feeling about the desire, and we lost track of time, or we didn't keep up, or got lazy, or chose to wallow in burnout, or doing the same thing over and over. So typically we're not simply doing everything that we can. That's why we have to, again, as much as you can clarify, it will help you in the long run. So again, if you think about any successful person, this is what they're doing. They're not just whimsically taking action, productive avoidance, or anything like that. Everything is really planned out for them, even if they're not a planner. There's some sort of planning and focus in their actions to make it inspired and aligned. And so when we do this, things are going to start to seem more easier and doable and possible, right? So if we think I want 10 clients, I'm just making this up, that seems a little far-fetched, but if we can break it down even, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to go to a networking event, and I'm going to create my agreement. That's much more doable and gives you an idea of the steps to take so you're out of overwhelm. So just a time management little nugget for you. So ask yourself what you need, what can you put in your calendar, what reminders can you set, and work backwards to make your days very consistent. Okay? So now we're going to do the new moon checks before we wrap up in a moment. So if you can, grab your checkbook, or you can create one. If you're listening to this and you don't have a checkbook, you can just you can draw one out yourself and make it. It doesn't have to be a real checkbook. So we're going to utilize just the name portion, the amount portion, and the signature portion. Those three portions only. So we're not going to put the date. We're not going to use a memo. We're just going to put our own name in the to section. So to, write your full name or your first and last name, whichever. And then you're going to put the words paid in full in the amount section, both in the number amount and the written out amount. So in those two sections. So if you normally would be $40, you write the 40 and then 40 written out. So you just put paid in full, paid in full. And then we sign it, the law of abundance. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Does it matter if this is a checkbook from that account that doesn't exist anymore?
I don't think so, unless it does to you. If you're questioning it, then you might question it's okay. Then it's the belief. So yeah, it would work.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then we sign it, the law of abundance. And that is all we put on our checks. And I know some of you have had an experience with these human checks. I've heard people getting multiple streams of income after writing these. I made several. I think I made over $13,000 the first time I did this check. So it has a lot to do with how much energy you're putting into this talisman, this symbol of faith, right? So it's not necessarily just a woo-woo little silly game here. This is actually a test of faith and an offering to the spirits, the elements, the universe to support you in this, that you know you'll get paid in full. And it's helping you detach from a number as well. Because oftentimes the numbers keep us in our ego and keep us stuck a little and keep us attached, in which we're holding on too tight. And so that's never good to be in that zone. So beautiful. So when you have the check, I always like to hold it in my hand or put it on my heart and just breathe it in for a moment and know that with this breath, everything is coming to me as I allow it, as I receive it. Everything that I am ready to receive will appear as I keep moving in action. I usually say something like that to myself. And then I usually put it on my altar, and I do some things different. Sometimes I catch it in my journal out of the way where I don't see it, but it's up to you. If you want to look at it all the time, you can put it in places that you look at it and see it, or you can put it and hide it away, either way. Right now I'm going to do something different. I put a crystal pyrite on top of it to symbolize, on a mirror to symbolize the doubling of that prosperity. So it's really fun. So you can play around with this, right? This is the magic. It's fun and playful. And let's be a monkey and play around with this magic stuff. All right. So that is all the rituals that we'll do. So we can now close circle unless anyone has any questions or want to say anything in particular about the checks or the intentions.
Can you just go into a little bit about the crystals and the moon cleansing again? I'm still not clear on that.
Crystals and the moon cleansing, or do you mean the full moon?
Yeah. Is that only in the full moon? That's what I'm asking. Okay. So.
Yeah. She's talking about laying out your crystals in the full moon, which cleanses them overnight in the full moon. Yeah. So we don't do anything in the dark of the moon because there's moonlight. Yeah. Cool. Well, I am so grateful for all of you to be here and all of you listening in. It's such an honor to lead these circles and hold this platform and container for all of you. I'm here if you ever have questions or would like to deepen our container and work together as in coaching or mentoring. As well as Cristin, we have spots open in March. So we don't always have spots open. So it's a really good time to enter into this relationship if this is calling you, if you're curious. So we release directions. We release the north, the south, the east, and the west. We honor the spirits and helpers and the guides that were here with us and showing us our desires even more clarified. We honor the elements that were with us, the fire, the water, the earth, the air. And we honor all of the women who are here and brave enough to share, and the women that set aside time to listen in for themselves. We honor the women that have felt the transformation and the movement that has occurred. It may be obvious or that it may be subtle. We honor you. And with that, we are complete. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to pop into the Facebook group. Share your intentions if you haven't already. We would love to see and hear and witness you. And it helps everyone for you to share your intentions, just so you know. So a win-win for all. And again, if you haven't heard of the Self-Care Challenge, you can look on that on Facebook. This Facebook group, Self-Care Challenge. It's so much fun. We end on the 13th in honor of Valentine's Day and putting ourselves first and getting cozy with ourselves before getting cozy with someone else. Love all you ladies. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Cristin. So much love to all of you. Mwah. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.